Hi there. I just want to share with you what I'm at this evening. I'm making a mock-up of a polo shirt design that I have available to my customers to order. I design custom sportswear, and I currently doing some dart shirts. I post these on my Shopify page and my Shopify site and my Etsy site. And I must say I do very well with it. I also post them to my Facebook page, which is Blow Me Down Spirit Wear. And I have quite a few loyal customers that won't get their dart shirts anywhere else because the quality that my manufacturer provides is top notch. So I created a new design today, and I need to get it, well, I did post it already to my Etsy store. I don't have it on my website yet, which is allandesignfactory.com. This is the design that I made. It's pretty nice, I think. It's done with little gold flecks, looks like little bits of gold marble and some shiny gold lettering with some little starbursts. So what I need to do now is take this design and apply it to a mock-up to create a realistic looking shirt front and shirt back. So that's what I'm going to take you through right now. So let's go into our mock-up here, and I'll explain a little bit about the different parts of the mock-up. It's done in 4 sections. There's the master adjustment layer. That should have a lock on it actually, because we don't want to ever move any of the sliders in there, because once you change them it's really hard to get them back so that you get the perfect shadowing and depth of the design. I have it set up for the front and the back, so I'm just turning off and on the visibility here now to show you. And the background, we'll start with that. The background I've set to a nice dark gray. I tried it with a little lighter color like a light pink, but once I get that design applied to it, it doesn't look very good. So right now I'm just going to change the name of the design, which is 947. I usually name my designs by number because it's easier to find them than having a alphabetical name. Alphanumeric doesn't work for me that much either. I like the numeric naming because it's easy to find when somebody orders it and I have to place an order, but my manufacturer is very easy to find the design. So let's get started. We're going to start with the back first. So if we open up the, actually I'm going to change the name on this. I was just about to do that. Let's just highlight this and change it to 947. Okay, so that's done, and we're not going to change the color of the background because I kind of like that. So we'll just close up this group again. We don't need to look at that anymore. So now we're going to go into the back, and in the back you have an adjustment group of adjustment layers, which is locked. And again, we don't want to do anything with those because it's really hard to reset it back to the way it was. So what we have here, this color, this is the collar color. So if we double click on this, we can pick any color we want here. Any color you want your collar, you just find it in the color picker and it applies it for you perfectly. Okay, that's not the color we're going to use. We'll adjust that in just a bit. We're going to start with the back. So in order to do the back, you got to go into your PNG file, which is where I saved my file after I finished designing it in Illustrator. I'm going to grab the magic wand tool, and I've set the magic wand tool to 255 tolerance, and contiguous is checked. So now that when I click on an element in this PNG file, it selects the whole thing right out to the edges where the transparent part begins. So now that I have it selected, I just want to hit Control C, and that copies it. Now we're going to go back to our mockup file, and we're going to double click on the back thumbnail, not the mask. The back is set up as Smart Objects so that when you click it, it opens a new file. You paste your design in there, and then you save it, and when you come back to your mockup file, it's added to your garment perfectly. So we're just going to hit Control V. And you can see that it's not quite big enough. So while this layer is selected, we just need to hit Control T, So this little link button here, this is your aspect ratio. So if you want to maintain the aspect ratio, make sure that that's chosen. And what that means, if you don't know, is if you drag it higher, if you make it longer or higher, it also makes it wider. If you make it smaller, it also makes it skinnier. So we just want it to touch the very top here. You notice that it's not quite as wide on the sides. Now if I haul it down to meet the bottom, it's going to go out over the edge. So what we need to do is we need to take that aspect ratio button off. It's actually pretty good. If you take the aspect ratio button off, you can move it narrower without making it go smaller or shorter. Make it wider without making it go smaller or shorter, or higher or longer. Okay, so we have made that the perfect size now. So in order to make that change stick, that transformation, you go up into your transformation panel up top and you hit your little checkbox and that says, yep, we're good. So let's just save that transformation. Okay, now that that's done, we just want to hit Control S and that's going to save it, and in the background it's updating the mockup file. And you can see here that it's added this design, the back part of the design, to the back of the shirt perfectly. Now let's get the correct color for this collar. So we're going to double click on the color again. And we're going to just grab the color right here. It's a little too purple. If you look into my, I don't know if you can hear my dog barking or not, but she's been really bad today. She's outside and I tried to get her to come in and so she would be quiet, but she didn't want to be in. She was making more noise inside than outside. Okay, so this is kind of the color that we want. If we want to get really exact, we can just hit our little eyedropper tool here, grab that color, double click on our foreground color, and go down to where the hex code is, right at the bottom here, and just highlight it and hit Control C. And say OK. Let's go back in here again. So if we want to get it exact, it's not bad. Hit Control V and that pastes the exact color in there. Say OK. And now your collar is the same color as it is in the PNG design file. Okay, let's get some sleeves. So for our right sleeve, we're just going to double click on this. And we're going to go back into our PNG file, and the one closest to the body parts of the mock-up is the right sleeve. I usually have them labeled, but I don't have them labeled today. So let's go back and get our magic wand tool. Again, it says set the tolerance 255 and contiguous is checked. So when we click in here, it's just going to grab the whole entire sleeve. Okay, so we'll hit Control C. We're going to go back into our sleeve file and hit V. So if you go Control T, it shows you the boundaries of the element that you just copied. It's a little bit high, so we're just going to actually, let's turn our aspect ratio button back on, and then as we move it shorter, it's also going to get narrower. We're going to drag that over, and what we want for the sleeve is we want the center point of our design to be right on the edge of the file for the sleeve, because this part is going to be on the outer edge of the sleeve, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So we're going to make that transformation stick now by hitting our little check mark up in our transformation panel. Okay, now just hit Control A and Control C, and that's going to copy that part. And now we're going to hit Save, Control S, save it, and that's going to update our mockup file. And you see that it's added that design to the right sleeve of the shirt. Let's do the same thing for the left sleeve. Let's go into our PNG design file. We're going to click on our left sleeve now, and that's going to select that. We're just going to hit Control C, go back to our left sleeve file, paste it. Again, hit Control T, grab your bottom middle handle there and drag it up, making sure that your aspect ratio button is clicked on. And now we're going to drag this over. Now instead of wanting the center point on the right hand side of the sleeve, we want it on the left hand side of the sleeve. Okay, so we're going to hit enter and hit Control S, and that's going to save it. We go back in here and our sleeve is added to our garment. So now we got the back all done. Okay, so we're just going to close that group up just to avoid any confusion. Now we're going to open up the front group. Now we're going to grab the front. So we're going to double click on this to open the front. Go back to our design file, our PNG file, and we're going to click where we see that this is the front of the garment. Just click it here. It's going to select it. We're going to hit Control C. Back into the front, Control V, and it pasted it. We didn't need to resize that at all. Let's see. Hit Control T, select that layer and hit Control T, and it'll show you. Paste it in there perfectly. This is a little high, but that shouldn't make a difference. So let's just save that transformation. Hit Control S. Back to your garment, and it's pasted the front part onto the front of the shirt. And again, we're going to do the same thing for the left sleeve. Now that looks a little bit bigger. I'm not sure why that is. So we're going to go back in here. We're going to copy the left sleeve. Control C. Back into here. Control V. Now see, we're going to need to stretch that out a little bit. So what we do is our aspect ratio button is on. Just drag it up and drag it down until you get the top and the bottom matching up. And because it's the left sleeve, we want the center point of this on our left side of our left sleeve file. So we're going to hit our checkbox to make that transformation stay there. Hit Control S, and we'll go back in here, and it's got this updated. You see here there's a little bit of sleeve here that's not covered, and I'll show you how to fix that in just a second. Next thing we're going to do is get the right sleeve. Go back in here, click on your right sleeve, Control C, back into your right sleeve file, Control V, hit Control T to stretch it out. Okay. Hit enter, or you could use your checkbox up in your transformation panel, and now hit Control S to save, and go back into your, here we go. So this one went perfect. This one is a little low, so we're just going to find our left sleeve in our front group, and you see that there's a link button here that links the mask with the design. If we try to do anything with that, move it around, it's going to also move the mask. So we're not even going to attempt that until we just click on this link and unlink the mask from the smart object. So now that you've done that, you can just click on the smart object, hit Control T, and you can see you can just take the corner and stretch it up a little. That would work. We can do that, or another way to do it is hit Control T. Now right up top here is your warp tool. So if you click on warp, it changes this box a little. Now you can drag certain sections of that layer to different places without affecting the other ones. You see what I mean? Okay, so now that we've got it placed and there's no white area, we're good to go. So now when we're happy with that, we can just click on our little checkbox and it's all fixed. Okay, we got one more little thing to do here, actually two more little things. We want to change the color to collar. Now, see if I can remember the color. See if it's still in here. Nope. I can just click on our other collar, and that's a little bit light. Because it kind of needs to be exactly the same, because theoretically it's on the same shirt. Okay, we'll cancel that. Let's go back into our back section and get this color. So to do that, we just double click on the collar section and it'll open up the color picker box. We can just go down here and grab this hex code, hit Control C, and go back into our color picker for our collar on the front of the shirt. Go to the hex code, highlight what's there, hit Control V to override it, and it pastes the exact correct color for you. So now both sides of the shirt got the same color collar, which it should, because on the same shirt it would look a little strange if it had different color collar on the front and on the back. Although I guess it's been done. Okay, now, well, my dog is out there going crazy. There must be a coyote up in the woods there. Okay, so the only thing we have left to do now is just adjust this inside color here. Let's see, inside back. So to do that, we just double click. Now that's a judgment call, because on the shirts that I have come, the insides are not printed. Now if I had a tag on my shirts, which I don't, which I actually should get done, I could actually paste that in there on that section. Okay, we're just going to grab a little bit darker than our collar. Oh, that's too dark. Just to differentiate. You can put any color you like in there, but you want to do what will look natural. There, I think that looks okay. Say okay. And there we are, we have our mock-up all done. So the only thing to do with that now is just go into your file, export it as a PNG file, and then you have your PNG that you can post into your Facebook page or your Shopify store or your Etsy channel or wherever you like to have it so you can sell it. Some people sell these, I don't know about custom sportswear, but I sometimes post ads for Marketplace and local classified groups, and I get quite a good response. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and get notified by clicking the little bell icon when I go live again or when I post some new content. I'm hoping to be able to post lots of new things, and I'd love to share with you some of the stuff that it took me forever to learn how to do. I also have a Patreon page, and the actual mock-up files for that is available for download on the Patreon page. It's fairly new, I'm just getting started, but I think I have a lot of valuable information, and I really would love to share it with you. And I'm just looking at this again now. On the back, on the right sleeve, it's a little short. So let's go in and fix that. So again, we need to remove this link button. Now we can just select that thumbnail, hit Control T. Sorry, I just did the wrong one. That's the right sleeve. The left sleeve is a little short. Let's escape out of that. Let's fix the left sleeve. So hit the thumbnail, hit Control T. Now again, you can just drag that up a little tiny bit just to cover that white area. If it was a big area or with some kind of design on the shirt that we had to keep proportionate to where it should be in relation to the actual sleeve of the shirt, we would have to use the warp button to distribute the elements of the design to where they should be. There we go. Looks perfect.